a mission that could change naval history and a high-stakes gamble against formidable odds. The Russian Empire's Baltic fleet voyage to the Tsushima Straits was just that. In the early 1900s, the Russo-Japanese War changed history. It was the first time in the late gunpowder age that an Asian power, Japan, won a significant war against a European giant, Russia. They clashed over control of Manchuria and Korea, Manchuria being highly rich in resources. It led to major sea and land battles, the lessons gleamed from these proceeding to shape the coming century of conflicts. This war shifted the power balance in East Asia, putting Japan on the map as a big player and showcasing the destruction that could be wrought by modern armies, replete with massed rifles, machine guns, and increasingly effective training, tactics, and artillery. As the Russo-Japanese War heated up, however, Russia had to make a bold move to gain an advantage in the Pacific. Enter the Baltic Fleet, transformed into the 2nd Pacific Squadron in 1904. Vice Admiral Rozhdestvensky had a tough job. Prepare the old fleet for a massive mission to show Russia's might in the Pacific. The fleet was assembled with a mix of old battleships, cruisers, and auxiliary vessels, each chosen for a mission to reinforce Russia's naval power in the Pacific. The preparation at Kronstadt, initiated in October 1904, was a rush against time, with the fleet hastily equipped for the long journey ahead. From the beginning, the fleet faced significant challenges. The complexities of outfitting older ships for a long ocean voyage, coupled with the need to train crews for potential combat, were immense undertakings. Navigational challenges, including the need to traverse hostile or neutral waters over immense distances, added to the strategic difficulties. Amidst these preparations, Tsar Nicholas II's indecision over the fleet's dispatch played a critical role in the later Battle of Tsushima. Initially uncertain about the strategic value of sending the fleet on such a long and perilous journey, the Tsar's eventual decision was influenced by the fall of Port Arthur and the need to demonstrate naval strength. Setting off in 1904, the voyage of the Baltic Fleet, soon to be the 2nd Pacific Squadron, faced intense challenges from the very beginning. Starting with their departure on October 21, 1904, the fleet encountered the infamous Dogger Bank incident. Misidentifying British trawlers as Japanese torpedo boats in the North Sea, the fleet opened fire, resulting in the deaths of 2 British fishermen and serious diplomatic fallout. This error was partly due to heightened tensions and fears of Japanese attacks, with Admiral Rozhdestvensky having ordered increased vigilance. The incident not only strained international relations, but also revealed the psychological stress on the Russian sailors, who had earlier mistakenly fired on fishermen near the Danish coast, fortunately causing no damage due to poor gunnery. After navigating a non-existent minefield, the fleet, laden with apprehensions and rumors of Japanese threats, sailed into the North Sea, leading to the tragic night when they fired on the British trawlers. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, however, as we would like to take a moment to cover the poor omens facing the fleet. On October 15, 1904, Vice Admiral Zinovy Rozhdestvensky planned to lead the Baltic Fleet on its daunting 29,000-kilometer voyage from St. Petersburg to Asia. However, on the first day, the Russian flagship, the Tsarevich, and a cargo ship ran aground, and a destroyer collided with another battleship, the Retvizan. Tensions were high due to fears of Japanese attacks, leading to the fleet mistakenly opening fire on the Russian cruiser Aurora, in addition to the previously mentioned incidents. The previously mentioned Dogger Bank incident on October 25th in the North Sea occurred shortly afterward. It should be noted that this incident nearly sparked a war between the United Kingdom and Russia, especially given that the British shared a surprisingly close relationship with the Japanese at the time. As the fleet moved south, logistical hurdles arose due to the inability of larger ships to pass through the Suez Canal, forcing a split at Tangier, Morocco on November 3, 1904. Specifically, the draft of newer battleships was too great for the canal. The newer battleships and cruisers under Admiral Rojestvensky took the route around the Cape of Good Hope, while the older vessels passed through the Suez Canal, planning to reunite in Madagascar. This decision served to add yet another layer of complexity to their journey, further challenging the fleet's coordination and strategic planning. This division created additional logistical challenges as the ships sailing around Africa lacked refueling ports and had to carry vast amounts of coal, leading to respiratory diseases among the crew. Upon reaching Madagascar on January 2, 1905, the fleet faced further setbacks, including a broken refrigerated supply ship and failed target practice, which resulted in one ship, the Oslabia, being damaged. Morale was low, with the crew experiencing unfamiliar conditions and one ship nearing mutiny. As one may have gathered by now, things would only go from bad to worse. In May 1905, Vice Admiral Rojestvensky, having had his fill of Madagascar's charms, steered his fleet toward Singapore. At Cam Ranh Bay in French Indochina, refueling was less assured and more a Herculean feat given the size of the fleet and its fuel consumption thus far. The arrival of the 3rd Pacific Squadron, however, was a timely reinforcement. This influx of fresh ships and sailors injected much-needed vigor into the fleet. With new resources at hand, Rojestvensky's forces readied themselves for the imminent battle. Those watching can probably guess how well it went for the Baltic fleet. The Battle of Tsushima, occurring on 27 to 28 May 1905, stands as a pivotal moment in naval warfare, marking the overwhelming defeat of the Russian fleet by the Japanese. The Russian fleet, led by Vice Admiral Rojestvensky, was intended to relieve the Russian forces at Port Arthur. This went awry when they encountered the Japanese fleet commanded by Admiral Togo Heihachiro in the Tsushima Strait. The Japanese fleet, significantly smaller, but technologically superior and better prepared, executed a masterful tactical plan, utilizing their faster ships and more effective long-range artillery to devastating effect. In contrast, the Russian fleet struggled to mount an effective defense, burdened by slower, older ships and suffering from low morale and inadequate training. A critical factor in the Russian defeat was their lack of effective reconnaissance and intelligence. Being unaware of the Japanese fleet's movements, they had walked into a trap. The toll of the battle was staggering for Russia. Of the 38 ships that embarked on the journey from the Baltic, only 3 reached Vladivostok. The Russians lost 21 ships, either sunk or captured, and over 4,300 men. The Japanese, meanwhile, suffered minimal losses, with only 3 torpedo boats sunk and 117 men killed. The remaining Russian ships failed to reach Vladivostok due to scuttling, being mechanically disabled, or navigational errors. The battle effectively ended Russia's naval presence in the east and marked the rise of Japan as a significant naval power. The outcome of the Battle of Tsushima had far-reaching implications. It was the first time in modern history that an Asian power decisively defeated a European power in a significant military confrontation. The battle also highlighted the importance of technological superiority, effective training, and strategic planning in naval warfare. The first lesson we can draw is the importance of technological superiority. The battle, lasting from 27-28 May 1905, spotlighted the paramount importance of modern, agile, and well-armed vessels. Torpedoes also played a noteworthy role in the battle. Japan's fleet, equipped with faster ships and superior long-range artillery, had a swathe of other technological advantages: superior wireless telegraphy, fire control systems, rangefinders, and superior torpedo technology, including launch vessels, in addition to the previously mentioned advantages. Meanwhile, the Russian flotilla, bogged down by outdated, slower vessels, was a sitting duck, possessing inferior capabilities or even lacking them altogether. Next is the value of effective training and morale. The Japanese sailors were well drilled and motivated, a stark contrast to the beleaguered Russian crew, whose low spirits and lack of cohesive training led to their undoing. This was a loud wake-up call, A well-trained and motivated crew is as crucial as the ships they man. Then there's the lesson on strategic planning and intelligence. Admiral Togo's well-planned ambush versus the Russian lack of reconnaissance spoke volumes. Knowing one's enemy and their movements in order to counter them isn't just half the battle, it's practically the whole game. Lastly, the epic journey of the Baltic Fleet, a grueling 29,000-kilometer trek, underscored the importance of logistical planning and the physical and mental endurance of the crew. It wasn't just about getting from point A to point B, it was about maintaining operational readiness throughout the journey, a challenge that would take a heavy toll on even the best provisioned fleets of the time. Tsushima and the Baltic Fleet's voyage reshaped naval strategy, emphasizing technological advancement, crew training, strategic intelligence, and the importance of logistics and crew endurance. We also encourage you to subscribe for our next video on the Russo-Japanese War on a broader scale.